The story starts with a birthday party which was held by a small family, and the man who is having his birthday is the MC in this story, where this man is already 18 years old, and he is named Yahao. On his birthday this time, he also has a small wish which contains that he hopes to live happily with his family, but that didn't last long because in the middle of the party they were having, a disaster appeared in the form of an explosion that occurred in all areas, which made their mother, father and younger sister fall from the buildings they were in at the same time. A gigantic creature appeared which made Yahu's body now unable to move as a result of fear of the figure that spread the aura of death in all directions, but in fact it was all just a dream that was experienced by him. Because what happened was Yahao was sleeping in the middle of his class. The teacher who found out that Yahao fell asleep in his class must be angry. As a result, the teacher ordered him to explain what Earth all age meant. Thihao, who had previously fallen asleep, apologized to his teacher. First, along with an alibi, he put forward that he accidentally fell asleep because he studied late into the night as a result. With that, Yahao got the standing punishment at the back of the class. Master did it because he forgot. That was a smart kid. If Yahao managed to answer his question, surely the teacher would feel embarrassed because in terms of ability, Yahao was only at B rank. And after Yahao was kicked out of his class, the teacher discussed a little about what Earth all ages and what you've been hearing about. And time turns the whole Earth into a. In 2036 ad, a sudden disturbance in space. Dangerous game P strong monsters started arriving randomly, but humans miraculously gained strength that was measured by a level or ability to develop various jobs and skills. Everyone is vying to level up to gain power, but Yahao is different from the usual leveling. In the next scene, we see that he was approached by 3 bullies at his school. One of them has an athletic body and his name is Feng. He came and asked for some money for this month's protection fee. But here Yahoo said that 2 years ago, Yahao protected him from senior student. But now Feng came to collect the protection fee for him. Feng, who heard him suddenly beat Yahao, said, "At that time I was blind. I thought I followed a genius who was a level 3 martial artist. The year already leveled 5. And you are still level 3. Whereas school Yahao has the nickname of trash who can't level up in his school." But suddenly, a kick landed that sent Feng flying away. And the brutal kick was carried out by a female student named Yunfei, who is Yahao's younger sister, different from his older brother. Janfei has above average talent, because even though he is only 16 years old, he is already a level 7 fighter. Lan Fei is predicted to have defeated a level 10 monster even though he is only level 7, where Yunfei's arrival at that time made Feng and the other 2 hooligans fled in fear. Then the younger sister encouraged his older brother that someday Hao would become a strong fighter, but even though getting the nickname Trashy, Hao never once complained about the situation he was in. He also has the principle of not giving up to protect his family and happiness. Yahao is determined to become the strongest. Before going home, he realized the strange thing related to his dream earlier, for that he will invite his family to party outside to guard against terrible things like in his dream. But after he finished partying outside and came back with a full stomach, nothing bad happened like in his dream. "Is it possible I'm worrying too much?" he said in his mind. But suddenly, from behind them, a portal appears, which instantly causes panic among the residents around. That's because the appearance of the portal usually coincides with the appearance of a monster coming out of the portal. And sure enough, a moment later, a creature with 8 sharp legs appeared. And that was a level 15 ghost. A demon spider, because he had no time to escape. His father finally sacrificed himself to buy time so he could restrain the creature. With his level that just reached level 10, even his punches didn't have a big impact on the spider. On the contrary, he had to be hit by the monster's attack, and his body could no longer be moved. The mother who saw the incident intended to help her, but it was unlucky that her body had to be blown away due to the demon spider's attack. Suddenly, one of the demon spider's legs was stuck with an arrow. Unknowingly, the attack was carried out by Yunfei, who still had not moved away from the scene of the incident. On the other hand, with his body shaking, Yahao still couldn't believe that his nightmare at that time had now become a reality. In the presence of the spider demon, it made his mind feel stuck. If he thought about his level is too far from that creature. During a battle with his current abilities, Yunfei was overwhelmed by the monster. As a result of that, he also received a wound on his left shoulder, followed by an execution attack aimed at Yunfei's body, which now could no longer be moved. Because Yi Hao was unable to do anything else, finally, he had to replace the attack aimed at his younger sister, or the demon spider's spiky legs immediately barged into its body between life and death that he was currently experiencing. Yi Hao signaled his younger sister to quickly leave the place before it was too late. With only 1% of HP remaining, a notification suddenly appeared saying that the XP points he had collected met the requirements and the king system has been activated. Meanwhile, Janfei, who was trying to escape from the place, was again ambushed by the spider demon. Even though Yi Hao had given a time to escape, now it was no longer unavoidable because the creature was right in front of his eyes. But during the loss of direction and hope for survival lies an attack that can knock the monster back. Yanfei, who is behind the Hao's back at this time, still couldn't believe that the strong man emitting fire from his body was his own elder brother. The spider was confused. How could this level 3 trash manage to attack him? This made the spider monster angry and prepared to attack. But Yi Hao, along with his new power, quickly shot up together with a newly created fiery sword, and his powerful attack succeeded in cutting off the monster's 2 legs. But unfortunately, with this weak body, Yi Hao was only able to last for 3 seconds because his body was still unable to accommodate such a large force within his status was blazing gold-colored energy, whereas the time limit of the transforming energy that Yi Hao is currently using, and right now, his blood was locked by that transformation energy. That's why Yi Hao must defeat the monster in front of him before his transformation energy runs out. Otherwise, he will die at the hands of the monster in front of him. After regenerating, the spider demons try to run away because he thinks it's only a waste of time dealing with level 3 humans and intends to look for other high-level humans. But suddenly, his steps were stopped by the flames that spread all around him. If you want to go, then go to hell, Yi Hao said, which made the spider break out into a sweat after seeing Yi Hao's strength. Just now, the thunderous footsteps indicated several high-level fighters that seemed to be coming toward the monster. Don't go there, you will die, Yi Hao said, but they didn't listen to them at all because these words came from the mouth of a level 3 man. And sure enough, they haven't had time to land even one attack, but these fighters don't realize that their bodies have been entangled in a net that makes them unable to move their bodies. Not only that, these nets can absorb XP from someone, where the incident this time managed to make the demon spider go up 3 levels at once after absorbing XP from previous betters. The demon spider, whose strength had now increased drastically, made Yi Hao feel pressure, and after being hit by an attack from the creature, he had to fall, followed by a system that said that the special skill Red Flame Storm had been prepared. When Yi Hao then got up mercilessly, he let out a blazing fiery storm. With its body currently being exposed to such fierce flames, the spider sensed that this attack was not an ordinary flame. It contained the power of a powerful king, and before his death, the creature had uttered the name of Master Kaiensa, whose form had not yet been seen, until finally, this demon spider had to burn without leaving any residue from the battle area. The Hao, who managed to finish off the ghost demon spider, got 20,000 XP points, but because he had used up too much energy at the end, he had to suddenly in the system space, and because fall along with the drop item he got, the Hao was unconscious. Now that he was, his body had been seriously injured from the previous fight. The system finally automatically recovered his body using the 10,000 XP points he had previously obtained. But at this time, the Hao felt confused because his system room this time was completely different from his previous small space. The space currently occupied is more like a vast galaxy, and now in his new system room, and he found a body that was the source of Yi Hao's power. Before, this figure has the true identity of a king, namely Cayenne, with a max level and it is known that the place where it is currently located is the King account system. This system accounts for the max level of countless plants, games, and the owner can use their XP points to open another King account. Gradually, because Yihao's accumulated XP points had reached level 10, King Gaian's account had been activated automatically, and that was the reason why for the past 3 years Yihao had been unable to level up, because this system had forcibly absorbed all the XP points it had gained. But it's all not in main, because Yihao currently has a new goal, which is to raise the level as soon as possible to open more King accounts as soon as possible. With the remaining 10,000 points, Yihao finally raised his link level, even though he had felt such a huge power enter his body. Yihao is still at level 3, which made him very annoyed, followed by himself, who was conscious and suddenly woke up in a hospital. His previously heavily injured body had now completely recovered, thanks to the help of his system. But it's very, very unfortunate, because 10,000 points is not a small amount for him. Meanwhile, from behind the room where Yihao was currently, there was a loud noise coming from Young Fei and his mother, who was known to have only suffered minor injuries, and now they have argued with a doctor about the nominal medical costs, which are quite high, because the 4 of them were poisoned by an elite monster. They must use special drugs for long-term treatment to recover completely. That's the only way to prevent death, said the doctor. The doctor also said that the other 2 men, namely his father and Yihao, were not as lucky as Janfei and his mother. The father was estimated to only live for about a month, while Yihao, whose injuries were the most fatal, could not live for more than a week. Yunfei, who listened to the doctor's words, couldn't help but shed tears upon knowing this fact, coupled with the cost of medical treatment, which is quite expensive, urging his mother to immediately sell his house to meet their medical expenses. Of course, his mother's decision to sell the house was rejected by Yihao. Of course, Yihao's presence with an injured body surprised the doctor and his mother and sister, because previously Hao was seriously injured. Here is the end of part 1. Thanks for watching.